the brain-eating amoeba. Today, we're going to talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a horror movie, the brain-eating amoeba. Yeah, it's a real thing, and it's something you definitely need to know about. Alright, let's just get straight to the most important number, 98%. Think about that for a second. That is the mortality rate for the infection it causes. It's an absolutely staggering number, and it's why even though this is rare, we have to talk about it. So what is this infection? The official name is a mouthful, primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, or PAM for short, and this is really the core of the issue, right? It's super rare, but if you get it, the outcome is almost always devastating. And to really put that rarity and severity into perspective, look at these numbers. In the United States, since 1962, we're talking 157 known cases, and out of all of those, only 4 people have survived. That just tells you everything you need to know about how serious this is. Okay, so what is this thing? What's the tiny organism behind such a terrifying disease? Let's meet the culprit. It's a single-celled organism, and its name is Naegleria fowleri. Now, the most important word to know about it is thermophilic. All that means is that it loves heat. It thrives in warm water, and that little fact is absolutely key to understanding where the danger comes from. Now, what's really fascinating is that this little guy is kind of like a shapeshifter. It has 3 different life stages. The one we really need to worry about is the trophozoite. That's the form that actually infects people and causes all the damage. The other 2, well, they're basically its survival modes, letting it swim around or just wait for better conditions. So where does this thing live? Well, think warm freshwater spots, lakes, rivers, hot springs, the kind of places people love in the summer. It can even show up in poorly chlorinated pools. But here's the good news, and it's a big one. It cannot survive in salt water, so the ocean, totally fine. Okay, now for the big question, the one that probably freaks everyone out. How does an amoeba and a lake get all the way up into someone's brain? Well, it turns out the pathway is very specific. This is so important to understand. You cannot get this from drinking contaminated water. Let me say that again, swallowing it won't hurt you. The only way infection happens is when contaminated water gets forced way up into your nose. From there, it latches onto your olfactory nerve, that's the one for your sense of smell, and basically uses it as a direct highway straight to your brain. And once it gets in there, it's just a nightmare. The amoeba starts literally eating brain tissue, but that's not all. Your body's immune system goes into overdrive, trying to fight it off, and this causes massive inflammation and swelling. It's this 1-2 punch that leads to such quick and total destruction. So because this all happens so incredibly fast, it creates a massive problem for doctors. They're thrown into this desperate race against time just to figure out what's going on. And here's why that race is so tough to win. Look at the early symptoms. Severe headache, fever, nausea. Sound familiar? Yeah, it looks exactly like the flu. Or maybe bacterial meningitis. So it's incredibly easy to misdiagnose it in those first crucial days when treatment could actually work. This timeline just hammers home how fast this thing moves. From the time you first start feeling sick, the median time to death is just 5 days. 5. That is a terrifyingly small window to figure out what's wrong and try to do something about it. So how do you even diagnose it then? Well, because it's so rare and looks like everything else, doctors need something called a high index of suspicion. Basically, the idea of PAM has to even cross their mind. They have to think to ask the right question. Have you been in any warm freshwater recently? And they have to do it fast. Okay, so when you put it all together, how fast it is, how deadly it is, how hard it is to diagnose, it becomes crystal clear what the most important thing is, right? Prevention. We have to know how to stop it from happening in the first place. And the good news here is that the prevention tips are actually pretty simple. It all boils down to one goal. Do not let water shoot up your nose. That's it. So that means using nose clips or just holding your nose shut if you jump into a lake. And hey, if you use a neti pot for your sinuses, only use sterile, distilled, or boiled water. It's all about blocking that one single pathway to the brain. And that brings us to one last pretty sobering thought. We know this amoeba loves warm water. Well, as the world gets warmer, its habitat is expanding. We're now seeing cases in northern states where they've never been seen before. So you have to wonder, as temperatures keep rising, is this ultra-rare threat going to become a much more common problem?